Okay, quick question for you. When was the last time you checked your mail? And no, I don't mean for that online shopping order that you made. I'm talking about your actual physical mail. Because if you own property in BC, there's a letter that could save you from paying a completely unnecessary tax. And that tax can be quite expensive. That's right, the government wants more of your money. Surprise, surprise. But lucky for you, I'm going to show you how to keep your money. Hey everyone, Myles, Nowik here from the Nowik Mortgage team, powered by ND Mortgage. And if you own property in BC, you need to hear this. I'm looking at you first-time homebuyers. This is a really important topic that I really don't want anyone to miss because it can cost you thousands of dollars. Today we're talking about the BC speculation and vacancy tax, what it is, who it applies to, and most importantly, how you can declare your exemption and avoid getting hit with a tax bill you don't want to pay or need to pay. And listen, if you're here just for the exemption process, I won't take it personally. Just skip ahead using the chapters below. Now, the first thing we want to talk about is what is the speculation and vacancy tax. The BC government introduced this tax to stop homeowners from letting properties sit empty, especially in high-demand urban areas. The idea is to push more homes and get them on the market for either people to live in by renting or owning that property, which sounds completely fair if you ask me. Now, the good news of this is over 99% of British Columbians qualify for the exemption. The catch? You actually have to declare it every single year. Now, before you start panicking, let's see if this even applies to you. This tax isn't province-wide. It only affects certain areas, including places like Metro Vancouver, Chilliwack, Abbotsford, Mission, Kelowna, West Kelowna, Greater Victoria, Nanaimo, and Lanceville. If your property isn't one of these areas, you should be off the hook, so congratulations. You can stop watching and move on to something much more entertaining than taxes. However, if you want to stick around, I won't stop you. Maybe I'll crack some jokes that you like. So let's talk some numbers, because taxes are all about numbers. If you're a BC resident, Canadian citizen, or permanent resident, the tax is about 0.5% of your property's assessed value. But if you're a foreign owner or part of a settlement family, the rate jumps to 2%. And trust me, 2% on a BC value is no small chunk of change. Heck, 0.5% is still a large chunk of change. For example, if you have a home valued at $1 million, that's $5,000, simply because you didn't sign the document to say that you live there or have it rented out. This is all based on property ownership of December 31st of the previous year. So if you owned a home on that date, you better be declaring your exemption, so long as you qualify for it. A question someone recently asked me is, why does this tax even exist? Don't we pay enough taxes already? And when we look at it, the government says that this tax was put in place to make housing more affordable. And according to Canadian Mortgage and Housing Corporation, or CMHC, since this tax started, over 18,000 empty condos have been turned into actual homes for people who need them. Plus, the money collected is supposed to help fund affordable housing projects. Sounds good in theory. Whether or not it actually works is a complete other story. It's nice to see 18,000 empty condos come on the market, but I'd kind of like to see more. And then the other question is, when it comes to affordable housing, is this money actually going towards it? Now, we've seen some programs roll out recently to help with affordable housing, which I've touched on in other videos. For example, the ability to refinance more with a CMHC insured mortgage, allowing you to put in secondary suites, first-time home buyers getting 30-year amortizations, all these different things. I'll make sure to put a link to that video in the description below if you're interested. So there is some evidence that this money is being utilized for appropriate things. All right, let's get into what you really want to know. How do you get out of paying this? Most British Columbians qualify for an exemption, and it's pretty straightforward. If the home is your primary residence, you're exempt. If the home is rented out and meets rental requirements, you're exempt. There are 16 total exemption categories. So if you're unsure, check the BC government website to find out if you are exempt from paying this tax. Because, like I said earlier, it saves you a ton of money. And of course, we want to know, how do you declare your exemption? This is where you actually save yourself the money. Declaring your exemption isn't hard, but you do have to do it every single year. And here's how. Step 1, you're going to want to find the letter each year. It's sent to you by the government, and it's got your declaration code and ID. Do not lose this, or do if you don't mind paying extra taxes. Step 2, go online and visit gov.bc.ca/spec tax. And click Declare Now. Step 3, choose your declaration type. If it's your first time, select New Declaration, but if nothing's changed, update your existing one. Step 4, enter your details. Type in the declaration code and the letter ID. Answer some questions about your property and confirm your residency status. For example, are you a Canadian citizen or permanent resident? Were you a BC resident for tax purposes on December 31st? Was 50% or more of your household income reported in Canada? Step 5, verify your identity. Punch in your birth date and your social insurance number. Step 6, confirm your property details, state whether this is your primary residence or a rental property. And of course, step 7, submit and certify. Double check everything, hit submit, and you're done. Simple, right? Now, I want you to listen up on this one because it's really important. And I'm really looking at you first-time home buyers. You're in your first home and you need to declare this. The deadline for this is March 31st of every year. Miss it and you'll be taxed automatically. And yes, even if you qualify for the exemption. So set a reminder, put it in your phone, write it on your forehead, whatever you need to do. Set something up so you remember to declare this so you don't get hit with the tax. Another thing to consider with this is every individual that is on the title of that property needs to declare. So, for example, if you and your partner have bought a property, both of you need to declare, right? If you and your partner bought a property and mom and dad had to co-sign on that property, all 4 of you need to declare individually. If any one of you miss it, you'll be hit with the tax. So if you do have a co-signer, make sure to call them, say, hey, watch for this thing, and make sure to fill it out, or I'm going to get hit with a whole bunch of taxes that I don't necessarily want to pay right now. Now, for a few final things in regards to this, some people might qualify for a tax credit to offset the cost. More details on this can be found at the BC government website. If you need help, there is a helpline with support in multiple languages because tax forms are generally hard enough to read in English. So if you are a foreign buyer or English is your second language, there's a lot of legal drop down in that. So that helpline can be very, very supportive through these processes. Look, taxes aren't fun, but neither is paying extra money when you don't have to. A few minutes of your time now can save you a whole lot of frustration later. If you found this helpful, please do me that favor and give this video a like and subscribe to the channel for more on BC real estate, mortgage financing, economics, wealth building, all those fun sort of things you find on YouTube. And hey, if you have questions about mortgage financing, speculation taxes, first-time homebuyer status, any of that stuff, drop it in the comments below or feel free to use my link below to book a call where you can have a completely free consultation where I can try and answer any questions you might have. Thanks so much for your time. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Now go check your mail.